In ScribeWare, searching through an extensive library of pre-made observations is as simple as writing 4 letters. Now I can choose between this whole selection of slow drain comments. All right, thanks for watching. So what I've done for this video, I got a series of slides up that I figured we'd go through, and they'll really just give you a sense of how you interact with the library. I figured I'd start with this first one. This is a slow drain in a laundry sink, and this was what I started with here. You just type the word slow. Now, sometimes with the library, I've found, with slow drains at sinks, you could have so many different ones, right? Both sinks could be drained, so there's multiple obstructed. We have adjust the stopper, because sometimes it's seated too low. Sometimes this flow is so strong it just overwhelms the sink drain. Sometimes there's gurgling, and I think to myself it's probably not venting correctly, or that's a concern. In this case, it just seemed like a basic slow drain, so I have a basic note here. So you can see I just typed in the word slow to bring up that whole sequence. And so in ScribeWare, we have a keyword search for your library. And in my experience, the more practice you get at this, you start getting it down to where you know the 4 letters you're going to type, and you can start recalling all these things in the library. And sometimes you're not super sure where it is, but you can tend to get this whole selection like this. Now you notice this part of what you're looking at, slow drain basic note, that's the observation title. That will not show up in the finished report. This lettering in italics is simply there for the benefit of the home inspector to help you sift through all these different observations. You can see we got a green check mark on our pictures. I'm going to toggle this one, the hide used media folder, and we'll just kind of go down our list here. Septic system. This house is on a septic. You might be doing houses with sewers. Either way, you might have some language here. Let's actually go to the client and property information page. This is the first page. I'm going to go to my frequently used observations. And we'll scroll down a little bit. I have a septic guide I like to use. We're going to check that. And then let's say this is for a seller, so septic note for seller. And again, this title distinguishes, this is the septic note I'd make if I'm working for a buyer. And then this is the observation I'm going to use if I'm working for a seller. And we'll check that. There's probably a few other things we could use on here that are in these pictures. Pruning vegetation off the house. Up here, we could choose that one. Gutter cleaning, basic note, we could choose that one. So we'll close that out, but it's as simple as that. If you have observations you use all the time, you can take them from your library and add them to your frequently used observations. So let's go in, we'll put the cover page right here. We're going to go to our septic observation that we just made, septic note for sellers. Let's see, here's a picture of the chimney. I often recommend a level 2 cleaning. So we're going to go to the chimney section, add an observation. I'm just going to type in the words level, and that's going to bring up some language about a level 2 inspection, and that's what's recommended by the NFPA. And we'll just drag that picture in. And in this case, the language at the bottom is if one has not been performed over the last 12 months, such an inspection is recommended before home changes ownership for fire safety reasons. Implement any repairs as recommended. So some good language there. Here's another easy one that just fits our library perfectly, right? It's the large openings in the entry porch railing that don't meet today's standards. So we could start typing in guard, no guardrail system. The openings for the porch guardrail are larger than the modern standard of 4 inches. This defaulted as a repair item. I might switch it up here and call it an improvement. It's just kind of how the house was built. Caution should be used, especially around small children, as they can fit their head between the space of railing. Improving to modern standard is recommended. We're calling this an improvement item. Now, if you want to always have improvement be the default on this, you can see this is where you save to the library. We've got our little 3 dots, and we just update the library. Now the next time I use this observation, the default will be an improve. You can always switch it between any of these categories that you like, but just saves you one step if your default is closer to what you want. So here we have some tree pruning pictures. So let's go into the grounds. We've already got our observation there because we used the frequently used observations, but we'll just drag these guys in. And you can see how fun it is. You just start picking away, getting through your pictures, and you kind of, that's how you write your report. You know, just go down your checklist here. Let's see, what else could we use? This house had often called a water heater expander, but it was basically a mixing valve so that you could turn up the thermostat on the water heater. Let's see, I think I've got some stuff in the library for when I run into these. We can go to the water heater section. Type in mixing because it's sort of a mixing valve. Off at the time of inspection. Tank booster installed. This is the one I was looking for. Tank boosters has been installed here. These are essentially mixing valves that allow the water heater to be turned up to store more heat in the tank. We'll just call this a note, and I might update my default there. Then we're going to take these pictures of the booster. We could put it in. We could finish our water heater here. There was no expansion tank. Just typing in expansion tank, none noted, right? See that? So an expansion tank is recommended for the water heater. So we'll drag that picture in. This was the original water heater from '91. So I don't know, to me, if a water heater is working, it's working. Sometimes these old ones, I'll open up the elements and look at them, but you know, at the very least, if it's from '91, you probably want to say it's getting close to the end of its life. So let's say we type in the word close. Let's see, off at the time of inspection, close to end of life, multiple. This house only had 1 water heater. Close to end of life 1. This water heater is likely close to the end of its useful service life. The average service life of these water heaters can vary widely between 8 and 20 years depending on water quality and maintenance schedules such as frequency of flushing the tank and replacing sacrificial anodes. Budget to replace this water at any time. Water was hot at the time of inspection. We'll just put in the listing plate. We could add a little caption and say, let's just say when the water heater was manufactured. I'll often use notes to show important things in a report. So main water shutoffs in the garage. Let's add an observation, and I'm just going to type in this shows, and I've got a bunch of these little notes. This shows the main water shutoff, but you know, sometimes here's my pressure gauge. We'll do that one too. This shows the pressure gauge, the pressure tested during inspection. Get another one going. This shows the main water shutoff, and then I might add some language here. Again, the goal with ScribeWare is always making it sound like I wrote a custom report just for my clients. So we're going to say in the garage, and up here you could add you don't need to do this stuff, but it's these little things that help it read like a report that you custom wrote just for your client. And we can use, there was no reducing valve, and the water pressure was, I think it was 55 here. So now we're putting all this stuff in. So here's a picture of a pet door that was added to the garage, which is breach in the fire separation. So I think we can start typing in pet door. Yeah, here we go. Fire door damaged by pet door right here. You can see how helpful the, pet door, a number of things kind of came up here, but we got a short list of just 4 things. So this is an incredible way. This library, if you printed it out, would probably be thousands and thousands of pages. And with the keyword, you can search through it amazingly quickly. So here there's no longer a fire rated door because of the pet door, so we'll drag that in. And let's go to the roof section. We're going to go to where this observation is just sitting there. We used our frequently used observation that the gutters are clogged, and we'll drag these 3 pictures in, and boom. Let's go to exterior. The house had a pretty good paint job, but there was a few localized issues. So I'm going to start typing localized. Localized paint failure, which is exactly what I want. You might also find localized rot repairs needed. Trim, localized rot repairs needed to the trim. But we'll go with our localized paint failure. And we'll drag this picture in. I'm going to type a little hyphen here. See north side of house at the roof to wall juncture. If you wanted to, you could have this part of a pest inspection. We could highlight this a little bit. The other issue here is the inadequate clearance to the roof. So let's actually do this. We're going to cut. Okay, now watch. We're going to type in roof. Siding to roof clearance is inadequate. All right. There we go. We'll put another little circle there. Should be a 2-inch gap. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to paste in my localized paint failure. I'm going to write, in addition, localized paint failure was known to the exterior sheet. And then let's just do this. Boom. See north side of house at the roof to wall juncture. Implement localized painting is needed. So now we've kind of covered 2 things at once, so we can have it part of a pest inspection here. That's an easy way to kind of bring 2 observations together into one. And again, more and more you do this, it starts sounding like a report you wrote specifically for your client. You're not just checking boxes and stuff. And we could spend more time on this. You can even write a custom observation just, without using the library. But the whole purpose of this video is just showing you some of the library stuff. Let's use this picture of the panel. I'd love to talk about this. We're in the 2015 NEC at the time of making this video, so AFCI protection is required today. And I like to make a note of that. Let's see, we'll start typing in AFCI. We're going to get all of our AFCI observations. And I have my, let's see, where is it? It's not obsolete panel. Let's see, modern improvement note is the one I was looking for. So, and I like to put some information about this in because if someone were to work on the wiring system, you could have an electrician come in and say, hey, this isn't to code. And, our new codes say you have to have AFCI. So I like people to be aware of this. It's also an opportunity to say, this was a nice clean panel in here. An issue is they didn't identify the whites that are being used as hots. But, you could say something like, this is a nice clean panel here. I probably won't because I would use that picture again later as a defect picture. And we could do that. So right now it's disappeared here because the hide used media. So we'll uncheck that. And look, there's some pictures of our panel that we could use. So now we can use those pictures again if we want to. And we're going to start typing in the word white. And we type in white. We've got a white powder sometimes you run into, but the white's not labeled. We'll check that. And then we can zoom in and we can put a little circle on some of them. So you can see how simple this is. I literally just typed in the word white and it sifted through my whole library, found the ones I want. So we could keep going here, but don't want to take up too much of your time. But I hope this video has been helpful to show you how ScribeWare, the keyword search, once you get comfortable with it, you can write these custom reports that look to your clients and your agents like you are writing a report just for them. And it certainly takes a bit more time than checking a box, but I think the result of the finished product is simply the best marketing you'll ever have for your business. So personally, I think worth the extra time, and there's no better way to reduce your liability than writing a really clear, nice report for your clients. And the goal with ScribeWare is just making that easy and accessible and not a pain. All right, thanks for watching.